the GCP Fireside Chat. I'm Nathan, this is Trevor. Today our topic is going to be the hierarchy of carbohydrates, and the important thing here is it's for fat loss. It's a hierarchy of carbs for fat loss. What we're going to start with is the top of the pyramid, so the very tip. We're going to work our way down. So Trevor, talk us through real quick when it comes to the hierarchy of carbs. Talk to us real quick about starches and sugars and how they can impact fat loss.
So the important part to think about this pyramid in general, they call it a pyramid because it's going downwards, but it's to think about you eliminate one at a time, right? So we first get rid of one, and then if we're not getting fat loss from that, we eliminate two. If we don't get fat loss from that, we eliminate it down as we start to lose fat. And it's not like a day-by-day elimination. It's like a 2-week window kind of elimination. If I'm not seeing fat loss eliminating this category, then I add this category. So we got to keep this in terms of fat loss, not health. Fat loss, very important. So starches and sugars, I think this is pretty simple. This is one everybody can kind of get on board with a lot, is anything so we're looking at potatoes, and most people are like, well, potatoes can be good, but we're looking for fat loss. So potatoes in this category, pastas, white pastas, white rices, sugars, pretty simple. I mean, we're not counting fruits in that category, but everything that's a simple sugar that we're kind of looking at for that. I mean, it's going to be donuts, it's going to be candies, it's going to be...
it's your snack aisles. So
yeah, pretty much anything. I mean, that category is where your bagels are going to sit into as well. We'll have a lot of people want to cut fruits down here that are farther down, and they'll want to keep in bagels. And it's like, well, that makes no sense. So those kind of ideas. So it's going to be a lot of things that are simple sugars. They increase your insulin level really quick, really fast, and then our body's starting to have to work around storing fat, and we're trying to reduce that. So usually the first one we get rid of, not usually, always, we get rid of starches and sugars. They can be split up. You could have sugars above that and then come down to starches, but we're categorizing those together.
Awesome. So that's the top of the pyramid. Working our way down. Next up is whole grains. Talk to us about those.
So yeah, whole grains is, again, we're going to give this a 2-week window. If we're starting to try to lose weight, we're going to give it about a 2-week window to make sure that we aren't seeing weight loss during this time. There's other caveats to this. So if you think about you can't be overeating either, because that's not going to help you lose weight either. So it's the idea of I'm eating consistent amount of calories and I'm reducing something out of that. So whole grains, you've always been told whole grains are healthy for you. In a certain way, they are healthy for you, but that doesn't mean they're going to stimulate fat loss the way we need to stimulate fat loss. So we're trying to get rid of things that now we're going into our breads, our pastas, and our rices that are still more... They increase insulin levels, but they have grains in them that can help reduce insulin a little bit. So this is going to be your whole grain breads. This is going to be your whole grain pastas, your whole grain wheats. Anything of that nature going to be in this category of things, even though they might be a little bit more healthy based on what the government says, but they're probably not the healthiest when it comes to fat loss.
All right, so that's the whole grains. Next up is legumes. Some people might just be confused as to what this topic really is. Kind of explain legumes, then how they are in our diets.
Yeah, so legumes are your beans, realistically, is probably the biggest category of things. So it's going to be your kidney beans, your chickpeas. It's going to be, some people even categorize eggplant, nightshade vegetable styles in that. We're looking more just strictly for the beans categories. We do put green beans in this category as well. They have a ton of fiber, so it means they are beneficial for keeping insulin levels steady. But the issue is just the amount of carbohydrates. So as we're trying to reduce fat, we do want to reduce volumes of carbohydrates. We don't want to reduce all carbohydrates. We do want to get rid of things that add volumes of carbohydrates. So if you have a cup of beans, you're probably getting 28 grams of carbohydrates in a cup of beans, which comparable to broccoli, you're going to get maybe 6 carbohydrates in that same cup. So we're trying to reduce the amount of carbohydrates. So with beans, we're going to reduce those or get rid of the legumes category as a next step in this. But if you've lost weight during this category, let's say you got rid of whole grains, and you've lost weight, don't get rid of legumes until you have a stagnation in that. So let's say you go 2 weeks and you're still losing weight, don't get rid of legumes. Legumes are still giving you positive benefits of nutrition. Keep them in as long as you can until you stop seeing fat loss. Now, if you've reached your goal, keep it in forever. But if you haven't reached your goal, then we'll cut out legumes after that.
All right, so moving down the pyramid, say we still need more fat loss, we move on to fruits.
Yeah, so I want to draw a line here real quick while we're at this. So fruits is where it starts to get to the point, if we're cutting fruits, we probably need to really start first divulging our nutrition to see if we're overeating. I think that would be the first thing. Fruits is something that people are really big about cutting. It's sugar, right? You want to cut the sugar. But if you're starting to cut the nutrients in fruits, most likely you're leaving some things in here and not 100% getting rid of those, or you're overeating on proteins or fats. Okay, so we have to be first smart about this. I say for cutting fruits, we're getting pretty lean. Most people that have to cut fruits, they're like starting to shred their body to a very lean category, and we have to get rid of some extra sugars. If you're just in the weight loss category, let's say you're 40 pounds overweight and are trying to get down and you still have another 10 pounds to go, we're probably not at the fruits yet. We're probably somebody that's weighing 150 pounds and they're trying to get to 145 pounds, but they're trying to get to 145 pounds because they want to see six-pack abs. That's when we might start looking at getting rid of the fruits. But fruits, yeah, they would be the next because they're higher sugar. They do increase insulin level more than a regular vegetable will. Not bad for you by any stretch of imagination. There's so much nutrient density in them, we really don't want to get them. I would probably say reduce the quantity before you completely reduce the amount of fruits. But if we were going through a hierarchy, meaning like these are the things you would eliminate, trying to get down the leanest possible person you can, that would be the next category to go.
Okay. So you're just going to say here that fruits, would you say more beneficial than harm? Like maybe the other ones would be more towards the harmful side?
Yeah, that's where that line's a perfect thing. And it's exactly risk versus reward idea, benefit versus harm. Is like, if you're getting down in this category, realistically, we're probably starting to negatively impact. We're going for like crazy leanness, and when you get to that crazy leanness side, you're kind of balancing out the idea of like, is there the benefit reward ratio, and like you probably get that part where you're getting a little bit crazy to the terms. You're trying to get really lean. Bodybuilders are definitely in this category. Fitness athletes are in this category. The average person really should never get to the category they got to get rid of fruits.
Okay. And now we're going to get down to the bottom, so the big foundation of the pyramid here. We're going to start talking about vegetables. So now we're probably talking more about adding in more than taking away, right? So.
Well, I mean, the idea of the hierarchy of carbohydrates is a restriction kind of concept, but in the way that we work at GCP, it probably is more of like addition versus subtraction, right? So we obviously want to have, so we have vegetables and we have green vegetables underneath. So the vegetable category is going to be everything other color besides your green leafy vegetables, everything, all the other colors of vegetables. This is going to be your bell peppers, tomatoes. This is technically where we put nightshade vegetables are going to be inside of these. So that's going to be your eggplants and squashes and stuff of those natures. They could go up here a little bit farther because they have a little bit more starch. We're going to keep them in this vegetable category down here. So those are the things we're going to start to, you can start to eliminate them if you're going for bodybuilder. We don't work with bodybuilders here realistically. So the people that we are working with should not be cutting these two categories at all. We probably need to increase the amount of vegetables to get bulk in our system and reduce. If we're having trouble losing weight and we're in this category, we probably really need to start reducing protein and fats. Or being honest with yourself that you probably didn't eliminate this.
Yeah, maybe skipping a few steps of that pyramid on the way down.
Yeah, like you're starting to eliminate fruits, but you're having that morning bagel because a bagel is what we need in the morning. Like that's kind of BS comparable to being able to like, okay, eliminate these 100% before you move on to the next one. Eliminate 100% before you move on to the next one. We really don't ever need to tap in here. But yeah, if we're getting down to vegetables, we probably should be adding more vegetables and reducing proteins and fats because we're getting way too many of those in. Probably fats first before proteins. Probably getting way too many of those that we need to do that.
Right, well, let's talk a little bit about the health benefits of green veggies. Why do people talk about green veggies and their difference than to the other ones?
Yeah, green vegetables probably aren't that much more healthy than other vegetables. But when it comes to like weight loss properties, they just have, there's so much nutrient per calorie. And that's what we're looking for weight loss. So if we're looking for weight loss, we're looking for what is the most bang for my buck. I could eat 2 cups of broccoli, which would probably make my stomach a little bit upset, but I could eat 2 cups of broccoli and only be about 40 calories. Comparable to 2 cups of carrots, which is still not a lot, but that's probably like 160 calories. So that's about, that's about half the calories. And there's still a ton of nutrients in it. Rich green leafy vegetables have so many nutrients. They are a very specific nutrient, meaning like that's why you have to have the colors of the rainbow, all different colors, because they all have different nutrient things. But they probably still have the most bang for the buck in terms of you getting positive sodium levels, potassium levels, things that your body really needs to function that are going to come great from green vegetables. But in fat loss, if we just studied fat loss, this is where bodybuilders will get down to the last couple of weeks they'll only eat green vegetables. For people we're talking to in our community, we're saying that like these need to be together. You probably should never get rid of green vegetables and vegetables. They should be a big bulk of your diet as you start to get lower and lower down there. But green vegetables can have a huge thing. You probably should have, every meal should have some variation of a green vegetable, from spinach to broccolis to Brussels sprouts, kales, things of that nature should be probably somewhere in your diet consistently all day long. If you have a diet that has no green vegetables, you're really missing out on the bang for your buck.
Awesome. So that's the hierarchy of carbohydrates for, remember, fat loss, not for health. Just remember, when you are grocery shopping, there is a reason why they always put these right away in the beginning, the produce. Not just to make it look good, but it's to make you feel better about buying these things later. Because if you have a shopping cart full of the green veggies, it's like a little reward to start giving yourself these starches and sugars. So don't get tricked into doing that at the grocery store. It's in that mindset, oh, I've got a shopping cart full of vegetables and stuff, I can start adding these back in if you're desiring that fat loss and following the carbohydrates hierarchy. All right, it's Nathan and Trevor signing off.
Have a great day, guys.